What's up there YouTube, it's Clormo with another video of my Logic Pro X tutorial series. I'm going to be talking about the ES2, just to keep that line of talking about the different synths in Logic Pro X. The ES2 is kind of a top of the line synth of Logic, and it's not going to be, I'm not going to make it justice if I just give you half-ass type of in-between intro and some detailed video. I'm gonna keep it very intro because all you need to know is where the different stuff is located. For those that are watching for the first time, just hang in there. When I do a more detailed video on the ES2, you're gonna see what it's all about, on all the possibilities that you can achieve with it. It's gonna take a few videos anyway to make a more detailed video of it. That's what I'm trying to say. So before we go into it, just remember this video is also in the current round of the giveaway for the $20 Amazon gift card. All you need to do is be a subscriber and comment on this video or any of the other previous videos that are for this round that's open. So if you have no idea what that means, make sure to check back in the other videos. So let's get into it. What I have here, similar, I'm gonna do the same as I have done with my previous synth videos. So if you haven't watched any, start with the ESM video and go from there, and you'll get the hang of it pretty quickly. Then come back here. So I have the ES2, and that's the interface of it. And what the ES2 does, it's really by many estimation, it's a very powerful and flexible synth that Logic has, and it has the same or a similar modulation router as the ES2, the ESX24. So if you haven't watched that video that I have on that ESX24 on my sampling series, go back and watch that. You're gonna notice right away that you have a few elements here that are similar to what we're seeing here in the ES2. But obviously we have more targets, and by targets I mean these guys here that are labeled targets, than in the XX24, because this is a synth, it's not a sampler. And there's a similar range to the ESX24 as far as modulation sources. We have 2 LFOs down here and 3 modulation envelopes. And then the ES2 serves for doing so many things that it would be a waste of time me trying to just classify it something. So it's good for bass sounds, and it's good for anything above and beyond. So with that being said, I'm gonna do my usual left to right, top to bottom type of overview, and then just play with my MIDI notes that I have been carrying from the very first video on synths, and just tweak a few things real quick so you get an idea. But like I said, I want to reiterate again, the ES2 is going to take a few videos to go into detail. So when I do the intro and overview on all of the other synths that we have right from this list, which is, there are a few of them in there, once I go through those, then I intend to make more targeted videos using the different synths, either what sounds you can achieve, or if you're looking for a certain sound, which synth you should start from. The ES2, when I get to the ES2, you're gonna see that it's gonna take more than one video to do that. So anyway, let's keep going from left to right. So overview or building blocks, we have our oscillators. In this ES2 we have 3 of them, so that's quite different. With these 3 knobs here would be the equivalent of the 8, 24 and whatever buttons that we have seen, the pitch buttons, right, that we have seen before. Then we have in the middle our filter parameters. We have 2 different filters here, which is quite different from our previous synths. Like if I bring up the ES1, you see, just compare what we have already, you can see the huge difference among it. Then we have our amplitude block, or the volume control, and sine level, like the retro synth. So that's another thing. And then we have here our effects block. So we have a couple of effects that we can choose from and distort and set intensity for, and different things that we can change with the tone and all that good stuff. Then we have our modulation sources, where is the area where we see the most difference between all the other synths that we have seen before. There's so many things that you can do here that you can target and you can modulate that. Again, it's going to take a few videos to go into it. And then down here, we also keep part of our modulation sources. We have the two LFOs with a couple, well, not a couple, there's a lot of options here, as you can see. And then we have 3 envelopes. One has attack and decay, and then the other 2 have the ADSR type of arrangements we have seen in the previous synths that I have covered. Then down here at the bottom we have some global controls and macro or smart controls. So all of this down here behave like smart controls, and what that means, because I haven't done any video on smart controls, if you're too busy or lazy to look through the manual, is that I can create automation with these buttons here as opposed to using a MIDI controller to do that, right? And so that's kind of an overview. I went pretty quick over it because that's really all you need to know. And now I'm gonna go a little bit left to right and explain some of these buttons real quick. First, we have an analog tuning button, and that just serves to tune tune our instrument before it goes into our LFO, or I mean our oscillator waveform selections. We can add some glide, and then like I said, these are the pitch buttons, and all you do here is fine tune each different waveform or oscillator button independently. So I can do it by semitones or by cents if I go to the right, and that's again equivalent to the 3 different oscillator buttons. And then each oscillator button here, the 3, you have so many options to choose from. You still have your amplitude, your pulse width, I should say, type of rectangular synth. Then you have a sawtooth, and you have a ring, a sine wave, you have a sync. You can sync all of these to the beat, right, to your BPM. Then we have this this mixer triangle. So here's a good difference to show. Like from the ESN, we had this button to mix. In the ES1, we had this to mix. In the retro, we had this other button to mix. Then the ESP is just like an EQ, right? So I would mix based on what I choose there. And here we have this triangle. So right at the middle, you have, if I press that button here, you see that I have equal percentages of each wave or oscillator parameter mixed together. And then as I move around, I have different ratios for them. So that already tells you what the possibilities are. So moving on, then we have our filter section, where we have 2 different filters, and you can control different slopes like we have seen before, and they're connected together. The 2 filters are connected together, so you have different slopes. Both have their own cutoff and resonance to them. So you see the cut, it's kind of small. I don't know if you can see it, but you have the cut and res. That's the cutoff and resonance buttons for them. And then you also have some frequency modulation type of buttons here or parameters in the filters themselves. So that's very interesting. Can give you a lot of options and opens. You can see the possibilities that it opens. Then you have this blend button here, which is nothing more that to it's used for routing the different elements in the filter, either in stages, in either stages. So it's in series mode, it would be in stages. If you press this button, it goes in parallel mode, and in parallel mode, the blend control just serves as a crossfader, because both filters are gonna be processed at the same time, as opposed to when in series you have the blend's gonna decide what of the filter, how much of that it's blended together and produces a result. Then you have these buttons up here that have different options, right? For poly, it's if you are creating a sound to play some chords. Mono would be for a bass type of sound. This is new here. The unison, it's similar to the double in retro. So it doubles the signal, which makes it louder, and it uses analog changes to change the pitch in the filtering. So this button alone does a lot of things that are new. Then moving on, we have our volume and sine level, and this is just the volume of the whole instrument, and the sine level is just that. It's a sine level that we are gonna achieve, right? Either no or full. And then the effects here, nothing much to talk about. You choose what type of distortion you want to add to the instrument after you have processed through the filter your resulting wave sound and all this stuff that you're mixing here, and you can choose between chorus, a flanger, or a phaser, and then the intensity that you want to give to it. And you have also a speed, and this here we really need to talk about that later, this XY vector parameter, and then you can change the tone of it also as well. So and this here, this free, soft, and hard also affects the oscillator parameters here. Then moving down, we have our effects and I'm sorry, we have our Lfo waveforms, I should say. We have our modulation targets, which is all this here. This is what we want to modulate using our modulation parameters down here, which are the Lfo1, Lfo2. We have a selection of waveforms that we can blend together and use to for our modulation into whatever we have in the filter. And then we have our different envelopes, right? So we can modulate the filter in more ways, but it's similar as the previous synths, right? We had an envelope, just one with ADSR. Now we have three, so we can target different things using the different modulation options that we have. So it's you can see how detailed this becomes. And then our macro controls, like I said, they enable automation. So to make it less, to try to ease out all this stuff that I have just thrown at you. Again, if you're having trouble, just go through the previous videos, starting with the ESM, and you will understand what I'm talking about as far as how this is arranged and how and what the controls are. Now, what they do is a whole different story, so that will take a lot longer to explain. So I'm just gonna play this MIDI notes a few times and change a few parameters, but I'm not gonna go crazy with this because then the video is just gonna extend more than I want to, and that's not the idea here. So let's just play and listen. Yeah, I had this blend here, so I couldn't listen to it, but just go crazy here, just do something. stuff here. Have some FM pulse width. Some tuning each here. Some light. I'm targeting the pitch. Let me target the cutoff. Not via the mod wheel, via the Lfo one. My source is gonna be my, let's see, I'm gonna use the Lfo 2 as my source. That's crazy. I can target other stuff. Let me see the tuning via the envelope one. Does that sound interesting or what? So that just gives you a very rough idea of what this thing is capable of. And I just did some random stuff so you notice how the sound changed from what it was originally to that. So let's turn it off. I mean, if I turn it off, I'm not gonna hear anything. Let's bring it back to the default, right? Now let's choose one of these presets here. So how all that change, right? This is pretty neat. You can, if I press this button here, you see the animation, so that means that that's off. That's probably important to say. But anyway, it's just an intro into the ES2. I'm gonna leave it right here. I don't wanna. I just always that I work with the ES2, even though I don't use it that much. When I use it, I just lose myself in it and lose my time because you can do so many things with it. So later we're gonna talk about it in a little bit more detail. You will be able to see what it does. But for now, that's it for this tutorial. So thank you very much for everybody for the support. Keep subscribing, keep hitting that like button, keep searching for me in social media, keep sharing my poems and my writing and all that stuff. There's a lot more coming up with that, and keep reading my videos, my beats. Search for me in all social media as the graphic explains below. Visit my webpage, email me, do whatever you want, and as always, with that, I'll leave you into the next tutorial. Peace out, YouTube.